Now, in our previous Kachina Hopi presentation from last night, one of the slides were inserted which states that America will be destroyed with atomic weapons. This was not put in by Yahweh at all. Last month I was sold an untraceable mobile phone. The fellow who sold it to me said it had a secret name and passwords, addresses, etc. All part of the avoiding the New World Order. My friend could not find the name or password, etc., but thought he had it in his office in Melbourne, where he was going that day to fight yet another court case on another matter and be gone a month. I told him to say to the judge to postpone the case and I will come and represent him. However, he unexpectedly won the case. I told him not to send the information for the phone. Do not use email or Facebook or telephone. So one night, when he's pissed, he phones here and Joel answers. I hear Joel writing down information and repeating it back. I said to Joel, "That's not Peter, is it?" The moron was telling Joel the details I said not to say over the phone or any other electronic communication. ASIO here is the CIA. Shortly after that phone call, they enter into the house. We had all gone into town. They've stolen the phone and my 350 gig hard drive with important information on it. This is what these low-life demons do, which I might add I have been dealing with for decades. No matter where I go, as they are all Mossad. This is why I said do not call or send information. Wait until you come back. Now the next slide is what they added in last night's presentation. Yesterday, saying America would be destroyed with atomic weapons. I recorded it while Yah was gone from the house, and had he not noticed this morning as he was listening to it, you would have thought that this is what is going to happen coming from his lips. It mentions atomic, not nuclear, which Yah has said what he would have said. Two different things. And then underground bunkers. Watch for it around slide 72. I've left it in this presentation to show you. They are watching every move, but here it is in red for the moment. The United States will be destroyed, land and people, by atomic bombs and radioactivity. Only the Hopis and their homeland will be preserved as an oasis to which refugees will flee. Bomb shelters are a fallacy. It is only materialistic people who seek to make shelters. Those who are at peace in their hearts already are in the great shelter of life. There is no shelter for evil. Those who take no part in the making of world division by ideology are ready to resume life in another world, be they black, white, red or yellow race. They are all one brothers. Now, it sounds very typically like Zionist propaganda, and I actually had in there part of the Harold Rosenthal interview to demonstrate it. However, that seems to have disappeared at the moment. So, continuing, or again from last night, the Kachina Hopi prophecy, the oldest continuous occupied settlement in the USA is the Hopi village. The elders report they moved to the area at the time just prior to the birth of Jesus, more than 2,000 years ago. He was born in the year 2 BC on the 17th of June. They record how they were visited by a white man with blue eyes, and he wore a long white robe. Here is the picture that went with the information. However, hello, Yah wearing his galabeah in Egypt. Now, just to go over for people who might be seeing this for the first time or any one of our videos, I've been inserting A quote from Pope Benedict, who announced the Christ. Pope Benedict XVI announced in an apostolic letter of March 26, 2013, the return of the Lord Jesus Christ in the person of Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall, proclaiming the most holy day of his rebirth in January 11th, 1944. He called the apostolic letter In Christum Credent, Part 1, Section 1, Verse 6, quoting Pope Benedict, "What is the matter with the world? Abusing the Christ like he's some sort of animal. It is an absolute disgrace as well as a great dishonour to have treated the reincarnated King of Kings and Lord of Lords like he's some kind of crazy man. He is not crazy, he is not mentally ill. He is not trying to manipulate anyone into thinking that he is who he claims he is. He is who he says he is. Amen, I say to you." Then on with the Hopi. Jesus had a long beard. Native Americans do not have long facial hair, nor do they have blue eyes or white skin. This man taught them many things to improve their lives. That the white man would come and bring evil, but also bring inventions. He said there would be trains that run on ribbons of steel. The railroad rails, black ribbons, would crisscross the nation. Roads and carriages with horses, then without its cars, then aircraft, and two disasters that would shake the world. He gave them corn, which became their staple diet. And today corn is regarded as the greatest food source. He taught them how to live in peace and harmony with one another. The red corn for the red Indians. He gave them sandstone tablets depicted also on a rock, the swastika with 13 arms. Again, the white man would come and bring evil and death, but also inventions, water from taps and electricity. And then two disasters that would shake the world, World War I and II. He said he must return to his Father in heaven. When he was about to leave, the Hopi begged for him to stay. Now near Arayabi, Arizona, there is a petroglyph known as Prophecy Rock, which symbolizes many Hopi prophecies. Its interpretation is the large human figure on the left is the Great Spirit. The bow in his left hand represents his instructions to the Hopi to lay down their weapons. The vertical line to the right of the Great Hopi is a time scale in thousands of years. The point at which the Great Spirit touches the line is the time of his return. Just flicking back to the picture of the rock, the Great Spirit, where he's touching the line, the vertical line being thousands of years, the bow in his left hand, the teaching to the prophecy, and the two ways, if you like, the lower, which is the way of life, and the upper, which is the broad road of destruction, brought about by technology. Now there are 4 identical tablets, one in Africa, one in Tibet, one in Switzerland. The other 3, the 4th being, of course, the one with the Hopi in the land of America. This is what they look like. Here again I've inserted the rock. Now the life path established by the Great Spirit divides into the lower. That's what I just explained to you. The narrow path of continuous life. These are reflective of Yah's teachings as Jesus. The narrow path of life. And then the broad road to destruction. And many there be on it. So the narrow path of continuous life in harmony with nature, and the wide upper road of white man's scientific achievements. The bar between the paths above the cross is the coming of white men. The cross is that of Christianity. The circle below the cross represents the continuous path of life, being in a circle. There you can see it again. The coming of Christianity, the cross just here, World War I and II, the broad road at the top, destruction, technology, the continuous path of life and the circle indicative of the circle of life. Now the four small human figures on the upper road represent on one level the past three worlds and the present on another level. The figures indicate that some of the Hopi will travel the white path's path, having been seduced by its glamour. The two circles on the lower path of the life are the great shaking of the earth. World Wars I and II, the swastika, Hindu. In the sun and the Celtic cross represent the two helpers of Pahana, the true white brother, that is Germany and Scotland. The short line that returns to the straight path of life is the last chance for people to turn back to nature before the upper road disintegrates and dissipates. The small circle above the path of life, after the last chance, is the great purification, after which corn will grow in abundance again, and it won't be GMO, when the Great Spirit returns and the path of life continues forever. Here it is again. The Hopi shield in the lower right corner symbolizes the earth and the four corners area where the Hopi have been preserved. The arms of the cross also represent the four directions in which they migrated according to the instructions of the Great Spirit. The dots represent the four colours of Hopi corn and the four racial colours of humanity. And the prophecies are found with the Hopi, then Tibet, Switzerland and Africa. This confirms Jesus appeared to the four peoples worldwide. The Hopi called him Pahana. It has an English gematria of 41. Coupled with Jesus, which is 74, is 115 and is the gematria for go lightly. If we look in the Jewish encyclopedia, it states the blue star is Isis, attempting to link it to Freemasonry and Egyptian myth and the Torah. Quote, now this is all with the Jewish BS. An ancient Hopi Indian prophecy states, when the blue star Kachina makes its appearance in the heavens, the fifth world will emerge. This will be the day of purification. The Hopi name for the Sirius is blue star Kachina. It will come when the Sakwasahu blue star Kachina dances in the plaza and removes its mask. Note the Dugon of Mali have a connection to Sirius B. The biased online Bible is attempting to link the Dogon with the Hopi and aliens. This is their last card that Werner von Braun said on his deathbed. The last card is the alien card. According to ancient alien theory, the blue Kachinas are aliens, not angels. Mali, West Africa, lives a tribe of people called the Dogon. The Dogon are believed to be of Egyptian descent, and their astronomical lore goes back thousands of years to 3200 BC. According to their traditions, the star Sirius has a companion star which is invisible to the human eye. This companion star has a 50-year elliptical orbit around the visible Sirius and is extremely heavy. It also rotates on its axis. Now, this is the Jewish encyclopedia, remember. Here they are attempting to link the Dogon to Egypt and to Moses, as they do, infiltrate, take over. It all becomes about them. Total BS. So they continue in their propaganda. Reality is a metaphor in which we quest to find answers to the greater truth of who we are and why we are here. Something in our soul tells us that change is happening on a global consciousness level. The blue frequency is part of that. Sirius is Isis, rebirth of consciousness. Blue links to higher future frequencies of consciousness as we spiral up through the patterns of sacred geometry. It's all part of the Jewish Kabbalah. By omission, the Jewish-controlled online encyclopedia makes no mention how the Hopi saw the parallel with the return of the Messiah, a white man with blue eyes. They state Kachina is Isis returning with aliens. This is the Jews, remember. Reality. We have the star approaching the earth, and it is almost invisible, but will soon be clearly seen. There are 3 stars, one from the south. We've been uploading for 2 years from Nehemiah Station, another from the north, and the red giant, the purifier, which will remain in the sky overlooking the earth. A period of 7 years of cleansing is mentioned in the prophecy. The smaller star has 7 nephews. Our brothers from the stars will come home to see how we have fared. Coming home is the point. So the following is the Hopi prophecy. It was told to me that first the blue kachina would start to be seen at the dances and would make his appearance known to the children in the plaza during the night dance. This event would tell us that the end times are very near. Then the blue star kachina would physically appear in our heavens, which would mean that we are in the end times. In the final days we will look up in our heavens and we will witness the return of the 2 brothers who helped create this world in the birthing time. Poganhoya is the guardian of our North Pole, and his brother Polangahuya is the guardian of the South Pole. In the final days the blue star kachina will come to be with his nephews, and they will return the earth to its natural rotation, which is counterclockwise. This fact is evidenced in many petroglyphs that speak of the zodiac, and within the Mayan and Egyptian pyramids. The rotation of the earth has been manipulated by not so benevolent star beings. The twins will be seen in our northwestern skies. They will come and visit to see who still remembered the original teachings, flying in their puturotas, or flying shields. They will bring many of their star family with them in the final days. The return of the blue star kachina, also known as Nanga Sohu, will be the alarm clock that tells us of the new day and new way of life, a new world that is coming. This is where the changes will begin. They will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and return to the peaceful way of life. The messages will be found written in the living stone, through the sacred grains and even the waters. Crop circles have been found in ice in brackets. From the purifier will issue forth a great red light. All things will change in their manner of being. Every living thing will be offered the opportunity to change from the largest to the smallest thing. Those who return to the ways given to us in the original teachings and live a natural way of life will not be touched by the coming of the purifier. They will survive and build the new world. Only in the ancient teachings will the ability to understand the messages be found. It is important to understand that these messages will be found upon every living thing, even within our bodies, even within a drop of our blood. All life forms will receive the messages from the twins. Those that fly, the plants, even the rabbit. The appearance of the twins begins a period of 7 years, will be our final opportunity to change our ways. Everything we experience is all a matter of choice. Many will appear to have lost their souls in these final days. So intense will the nature of the changes be that those who are weak in spiritual awareness will go insane, for we are nothing without spirit. They will disappear, for they are just hollow vessels for anything to use. Life will be so bad in the cities that many will choose to leave this plane, some in whole groups. Only those who return to the values of the old ways will be able to find peace of mind, for in the earth we shall find relief from the madness that will be all around us. It will be a very hard time for women with children, for they will be shunned, and many of the children in these times will be unnatural. Some being from the stars, some from past worlds. Some will even be created by man in an unnatural manner and will be soulless. Many of the people in this time will be empty in spirit. They will have sampaku, no life force in their eyes. It's been a few times, hasn't there, when I've said to you, I see no light in their eyes. As we get close to the time of arrival, the purifier there will be those who walk as ghosts through the cities, through canyons they will have constructed in their man-made mountains. Those that walk through these places will be very heavy in their walk. It will appear almost painful as they take each step, for they will be disconnected from their spirit and the earth. Life will get very perverted, and there will be little social order. In these times, many will ask for the mountains themselves to fall upon them just to end their misery. Still others will appear as if untouched by what is occurring. The ones who remember the original teachings and have reconnected their hearts and spirit, those who remember who their mother and father is, the Pahana, who have left to live in the mountains and forest. When the purifier comes, we will see him first as a small red star which will come very close and sit in our heavens watching us to see how well we have remembered the sacred teachings. This purifier will show us many miraculous signs in our heavens. In this way we will know Creator is not a dream. Even those who do not feel their connection to Spirit will see the face of Creator across the sky. Things unseen will be felt very strongly. Many things will occur that will not make sense, for reality will be shifting back in and out of the dream state. There will be many doorways to the lower world that will be open at this time. Things long forgotten will come back to remind us of our past creations. All living things will want to be present for this day when time ends and we enter the forever cycle of the fifth world. We will receive many warnings allowing us to change our ways from below the earth as well as above. Then one morning, in a moment, we will awaken to the red dawn. The sky will be the colour of blood. Many things will then begin to happen that right now we are not sure of their exact nature, for much of reality will not be as it is now. There will be many strange beasts upon the earth in those days, some from the past and some that we have never seen. The nature of mankind will appear strange in these times. We walk between worlds, and we will house many spirits even within our bodies. After a time we will again walk with our brothers from the stars and rebuild this earth, but not until the purifier has left his mark upon the universe. No thing living will go untouched here or in the heavens. The way through this time, it is said, is to be found in our hearts and reuniting with our spiritual self, getting simple and returning to living with and upon the earth and in harmony with her creatures, remembering that we are the caretakers, the fire keepers of the spirit. Our relatives from the stars are coming home to see how well we have fared in our journey. Now I just want to go back, and there was supposed to be an insert in this video. Where
and taken out.
it's gone. This is ridiculous.
Oh,
well, here it is. All right, the purifier will show us many miraculous signs in our heavens. In this way, we will know Creator is not a dream. Even those who do not feel their connection to Spirit will see the face of Creator across the sky. Things unseen will be felt very strongly. Now, the point is here, even those who do not feel their connection to Spirit will see the face of Creator across the sky. We will remind the world, those who have been watching and have known that the Christ has been here for some time, know the story of his second wife, Pauline, who was a black witch. You have heard him tell many, many times the story when he was with her. This is in Canada, and she pissing him off literally with her ongoings. Finally, he said to the angels, "Take her away, I've had enough." She went in to sit on the edge of the bed that was in the caravan that they were in, and he noticed that she was frozen in her manner and looked as if she, first of all, terrified, but her jaws clenched with her hands clutching what she told him later. This is much later. She told him that she was clutching irons of brass, rods of brass, weren't they? And that she was taken in her spirit down through the descending passage of the pyramid and then up the ascending passage into the king's chamber, where she arrived, and then when she looked up, the roof, the ceiling of the king's chamber opened up, and she could see the blue sky open up. Now, this is what happened to her while she was sitting here, but it was months later that she told him what she saw, and she said that she saw the face of God across the sky. She paused, and then she said to him, "It was your face." So this is this is what we put in as we're redoing this presentation because of what happened last night, and that has now gone. That was a whole scripted to tell the story again of Pauline, but it's gone, as you can see. So just moving right along. This is the day of purification, otherwise known as the day of the Lord. Okay, here we move on to the four colours of the corn. Represents the four colours of mankind. You've got white, black, yellow and red. Now the white race was also given a stone, and this is in Switzerland to this day. The yellow race is Tibet and has been revealed. The African Kikuyu tribe also has a stone, and of course the red stone being with the Hopi in America. Now the three stones are undisputable. Jesus came more than 2,000 years ago for this purpose. Comparing the stones today proves a miracle, and was what occurred more than 2,000 years ago. Here's what they look like. So you've got the white corn, white stone, tablet rather, in Switzerland. The red corn, the American Hopi. Here's Jesus teaching about the broad road to destruction. The way to life is narrow, and that is the way that continues for eternity. Now, of course, we've got these screen captures of somebody else's photos that they've taken of Nehemiah. This was captured on the 25th of February. and Nibiru and its moons. Was that her?
My brother's birth.
Yes, the 25th of February was the birthday of the Christ's brother. Deceased 22nd of September 2011, wasn't it? When did Dex arrive? 2011. 2011, yeah. Time has gone so quickly. So the blue camera flare indicates the invisible sun Kachina is very close to the Earth, and this will cause the third shaking. Of course, the insanity of the NWO, is actually the JWO, continued to pour out its venomous subterfuge, attempting to make it appear the Hopi prophecies spell out World War III and aliens. Oh, they are so beyond evil, so why do it? The bottom line is if they cannot rule the world, nobody can, and will be destroyed. Hitler had it right all along. He identified the greatest threat to mankind was Judaism. Judaism is behind Marxism, communism, it all comes from Judaism.
Freemasonry.
And it's all Freemasonry. So for a child reading their tripe, they can be easily misled, as the New World Order are attempting to implant a subconscious demonic idea by corrupting the prophecy, not mentioning Jesus in their internet pages. We shall forbid Christ. So, here it continues, the end of all Hopi ceremonialism will come when a Kachina removes his mask during a dance in the plaza before uninitiated children of the world's general population. For a while there will be no more ceremonies, no more faith. Then Ora Ibi will be rejuvenated with its faith and ceremonies, making the start of a new cycle of Hopi life. World War III will be started by those peoples who first revealed the light, the divine wisdom or intelligence in the other old countries, India, China, Islamic nations, Africa. So what we have here is that Islam did not exist 2,000 years ago. It's only a recent. So the United States, here is the slide. I thought it was slide 72, but anyway, it's actually here, 68. This is the slide that was put in last night. This is not part of the prophecy at all. The war will be a spiritual conflict with material matters. Material matters will be destroyed by spiritual beings who will remain to create one world and one nation under one power, that of the Creator. That time is not far off. It will come when the Sakwasohu, Blue Star Kachina, dances in the plaza and removes his mask. He represents a blue star far off and yet invisible, which will make its appearance soon. The time is foretold by a song sung during the Wuwutim ceremony. It was sung in 1914, just before World War I, and again in 1940, before World War II, describing the disunity, corruption and hatred contaminating Hopi rituals, which were followed by the same evils spreading over the world. This same song was sung in 1961 during the Wuwutim ceremony. So the bullshit continues. These comprise the 9 most important prophecies of the Hopis, connected with the creation of the 9 worlds, the 3 previous worlds on which we lived, the present 4th world, the 3 future worlds we have yet to experience, and the world of Taiowa, the creator, and his nephew Sotok Nang. The Hopi and others who were saved from the great flood made a sacred covenant with the Great Spirit never to turn away from him. He made a set of sacred stone tablets called Tiponi, into which he breathed his teachings, prophecies and warnings. Before the Great Spirit hid himself again, he placed before the leaders of the 4 different racial groups 4 different colours and sizes of corn. Each was to choose which would be their food in this world. The Hopi waited until last and picked the smallest ear of corn. At this the Great Spirit said, "It is well done. You have obtained the real corn, for all the others are imitations, in which are hidden seeds of different plants." You have shown me your intelligence. For this reason I will place in your hands these sacred stone tablets, Tiffany, symbol of power and authority over all land and life to guard, protect and hold in trust for me until I shall return to you in a later day. For I am the first and I am the last. The words of Jesus, it is all to do with him, the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. So the Hopi settled in the area now known as Four Corners, where the state lines of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah and Colorado meet. They lived in humble simplicity and the land produced abundant crops. Prophecy tablets are in 2 other parts of the world yet never mentioned. The same story.
It should be 3.
Tiffany tablets, yes, that should be 3. Those areas that we talked about, Switzerland, the white, the yellow in Tibet, the black in Africa with the Kikuyu. Again, the Hopi Reservation is a civil reservation in Navajo County, Arizona, an elevation of 1,767 meters or 5,797 feet. Latitude 35 degrees 54 minutes and 42 seconds north, longitude 110 degrees 36 minutes 56 seconds west. The 3 other people who were visited by Jesus about the same time, he gave them the tablets, the black, yellow and white. These are the Kikuyu in Africa, the black corn, symbolic of them. The yellow, Tibet. 4 of these stones are in existence. Of the 4, only Switzerland has not shown it, but confirm they have it. What they do have is the Hindi swastika. Hindi prophecy tells us that Jesus Christ would be born. He, Yahweh, would die on the cross and resurrect. This was 4,500 years ago. Try and find it. Every time I point out facts, they go to work removing every reference to it. NASA admits to the blue star Kachina in a BBC interview. Biblically, of course, the stars reveal the glory of the Creator. Psalm 147 verse 4, lift your eyes and look to the heavens, who created all these? He who brings out the starry host, one by one, and calls them each by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. This is from the words of the prophecy, already read to you. Even those who do not feel their connection to Spirit will see the face of Creator across the sky. There he is, those blue eyes of the Christ. He's returned just as he promised he would. And of course the world's greatest picture is the image within the Shroud of Turin. It is the blatantly obvious for the pure in heart that as Jesus he promised would see God, who comes to the earth to live among men. His kingdom comes to the earth. It is only the pure in heart who see God within. Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall, whose image that it is, and is what Pope Benedict saw and then announced to the world the return of the Christ with his new name of the Revelation. Revelation 3:12, Revelation 19:12, the name written that only he would know. Brian Leonard, Go Lightly, Marshall.